Hey guys, Donnie RightSide here. Merry Christmas football. Sounds great, doesn't it? Food, family, friends, fun, football, and away we go. That's what we're going to have on Christmas Day. A doubleheader, one game at 1 o'clock Eastern, one game at 4:30 p.m. Two ways to attack this. We're going to take prop bets in each one of these games. But let's take a look. 401, 402 on the rotation. Game number 1 o'clock on Christmas Day. That's Kansas City and that's Pittsburgh. Lining this game up, opening numbers came up quite high. 4.5s, 5.5s. They're down to 2.5s here against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are the home team. So Kansas City going on the road as the favorite in this one. If we're looking at the total, opened up at 41.5 and has risen to 43 to 44, depending on where you're shopping at now. Let's be real. Kansas City wins this football game. They clinch sole possession of the number 1 seed. Nobody can catch them. Home for the holidays. They will be out throughout the playoffs at Arrowhead. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are trying to fight off the Baltimore Ravens, who play a little bit later on Christmas Day. I think it's a pretty good spot for Pittsburgh. And looking at the ticket count here, about 6 out of every 10 tickets currently coming in on the Kansas City Chiefs. You can see that they are favored and a lot to play for. I think it's a good spot for Pittsburgh, but we're not going to take the side in this video. Total 43, 43.5, 44, depending on where you're shopping at here. I think there's a legitimate chance that it does go over. The one thing I do know is Patrick Mahomes' ankle is not injured here. He was fantastic on Saturday against the Houston Texans. He's going to go on the road. Pittsburgh is a team typically it's tough to run on, even though the Baltimore Ravens did run over, my goodness, that Pittsburgh Steelers defense last weekend. But if we are looking optimistically at this game, the one thing I do know, Xavier Worthy now is the lead dog in the wide receiver room for the Kansas City Chiefs. And also Marquise Hollywood Brown comes back into the equation. It's been formidable. We're going to take a prop bet in this game. Xavier Worthy over 46.5 receiving yards in that football game. I think he's going to get at least that amount of work and more because Kansas City should be able to throw in Pittsburgh. That's how you beat that football team. Game number 2 on Christmas Day, 403, 404 on the rotation. That's a 4:30 p.m. Eastern start. It's Baltimore, it's Houston. Baltimore opened up as a favorite of 2.5, quickly rising across the board. 4s to 4.5s, even as high as 5.5s now we're seeing as a favorite towards the Baltimore Ravens. The Houston Texans at home, total in this game, 46.5 to 47, depending on where you're shopping at. You saw last week on Saturday, Houston gave it their best effort against Kansas City, lost that football game. They did, however, clinch their division, so nothing really to play for the rest of the way, and also losing Tank Dell. So now you're down to basically Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. The way you beat the Baltimore Ravens is throwing on the Baltimore Ravens, not running. So we're going to avoid Joe Mixon in this game and aside and go with another prop. How about this? Dalton Schultz, tight end, for the Houston Texans, his prop number, 33.5. We're going over the total here. Nico Collins going to get a lot of attention from that secondary, which allows Dalton Schultz to work underneath. We should expect at least 40 yards or more from Dalton Schultz in cashing in that ticket. So 2 prop bets to look at on Christmas Day. Number 1, Xavier Worthy on the road to take on the Steelers, going over 46.5 receiving yards, and Dalton Schultz, the tight end for the Houston Texans, over 33.5 receiving yards against the Baltimore Ravens. I'm Donnie RightSide for Bookmakers Review. Hopefully get everything you wish for and more on this Christmas Day, including a couple winners. Take care.